All right, so we are at the Goodwill today. We are with Dagny, and we are about to head in and see what we can find that we can flip for a profit. So here we go. So I started out here in the purse section, as I always do at this Goodwill, and I didn't see a whole lot here. Dagny did find this really cool Vera with Scotty dogs, which is not a pattern that we come across very often. I spotted this. It had a Louis Vuitton logo on it, but I suspected that it was more than likely a knockoff. And in the process, I threw this on the floor. I did put it back because that's what we do. But this Scotty print bag was pretty cool. I didn't see anything else except for this piece right here. I liked this leather bag. I thought it was interesting. It was actually marked Joe Boxer, who I think actually makes boxers and other underwear. So I did look it up, but there was not a very high resale value for it. And so even though it was kind of cool looking and I liked the fact that it was leather-esque, possibly real leather, I left it. Dagny found this neat tree skirt there in the Christmas section, as well as some nice sweaters. But we don't do a whole lot with clothing. Up here, there was a cute little caroling figurine there. We suspected that maybe that was a Dollar General or some sort similar figurine. Dagny pointed out this plaque here, which was kind of nice. It was vintage. I liked it. I also liked this candlestick. I liked the color of it, but it was soapstone, sandstone, soapstone. But it's pretty. It doesn't have a very high resale value. There was a giant dollhouse here for $15. Now, Juliet's birthday is on Thanksgiving. It is this week. And I actually considered grabbing this for her, but it looked like somebody decided to decorate it beyond what it was already decorated. And so I did pass on that. Now you can see the shelves are pretty cluttered. This is just how I like them. I love digging through the cluttered shelves. I did find this, which is probably European. There was a marking on the bottom, a mold mark. Unfortunately, there was a giant crack on it. I also found this pitcher, which I believe was a Hawaiian piece, but there wasn't much resale value for that. I liked these brass napkin holders. I thought these were nice. They were $1.99. This is me embracing the brass for $1.99. I don't know if that's the type of brass I'm supposed to be looking for, but it worked for me. Now, Dagny found this bowl here, and it was marked on the bottom Kaiser. And it did kind of have a neat design. It kind of reminded me of Candyland. I liked it. This piece made me think of Mexican art pottery, but there were no indications on it. I don't think it actually was. I've got a whole set of china here, and I did tip it over, and it was Taylor Smith and Taylor. I expected this to be wood, but it was resin, and it was $4.99. It was marked Burwood on the bottom. That's not something I'm familiar with. But had it been wood, I may have considered it, but given that it was resin, I left it. This wall plaque, I did kind of like this, but I found a modern sticker on the back and decided that I would leave it. Got a nice little vintage dish here. However, the color was flashed on. It was not actually red. Dagny found a giant alarm clock. It reminded me a lot of Alice in Wonderland with the rabbit. She also found some yarn, and she was very excited about the yarn because Dagny is a professional knitter. At least she was. And so this, I guess, is a very good brand of yarn. And so she was very excited about that. And she left it for the next knitter to come along and discover it, which I thought was very nice of her. believe we looked at that spongeware bowl the last time. Up here we have a praying Jesus, and there is a game that Dagny plays, whoever can find the praying hands first, not necessarily attached to Jesus, but just praying hands in the thrift store. And so I just tried to win, but she wasn't going to give it to me because it was attached to Jesus. Now I picked these up and I said, you know, your dogs might like these, but I guess not. I guess our dogs don't like squeaky toys. Now, this yarn was not good yarn, she told me. And she is a professional, and I trust her opinion on yarn. That yarn was good. The yarn I picked was not. I did pick up this bowl here to see what the marking was on the bottom. This was a nice vintage piece. Kind of just a vintage wall hanging. Very cute little angels on there. Now there was a basket, or I guess you could say a tin back here. It kind of had a basket weave to it, but it was a tin. And I liked the finish on it. It was for 99 cents, and on the inside you could actually hear a second tin rattling around. It was made by Gildcraft, and a single one sells for $8 to $12. So it was tempting. I'm not sure if Dagny ended up buying this. I did spot this. I spotted this kitty cat, and this was an adorable little Lefton kitty planter. I was surprised there was no damage on it. I did like this plaque here. It was nice, but that's not something that I could consider shipping, and it's not something I would be interested in putting in my booth. Now these right here, I had a suspicion that these were Wendell August Forge. Just the quality about them and the way that they were made. And so I made it my mission to get them out of this little container and figure out if they were Wendell August Forge. And it took me about a good 2 minutes. So I'm going to speed that up for you. And there you go, Wendell August Forge. However, it was the Bank of Lancaster County, and I felt like that was just too specific. I didn't feel like there was a really high market for those pieces, and so I did leave those behind. Now, I did spot this piece. I believe it was likely Portugal. My mom collects this cookware, and so I did decide to grab this little piece here. My camera is not focusing because my main camera did die in the process of filming this video, so this is my backup camera. But I did grab that for her. Dagny found an adorable little owl there in the bins. Decided to dig a little deeper, and there was a house in there. This was a cookie jar that at one point was likely full of cookies. I did like this little bee skep. It was a little candle. I've got a little trinket box here. I always give them a good shake just to see if the trinket's in there. It's probably not good for the trinket, but it is what it is. We've got some brass candlesticks there. I did pass on the candlesticks. This woman was very sad watching her soap operas, it appears. Up here, there was a pottery piece of some sort. I did like the glaze on it, but I didn't know quite what it was. Dagny found a neat feeder there. This appeared to be a sake bottle. Down here, I feel like I've looked at this bowl before, and it does have modern markings on the bottom. These are Falstaff. Yes, they are. And we've looked at those before as well. Now this ashtray, I did like the green color of it, but I did set it back down. I decided to look down here in this jewelry box, And these caught my eye mostly because they looked to have some sort of historical significance. And I was thinking of Andrew when I attempted to pull them out. You could see Dagny is lending me her hand. Um, but they were $2.99. On the back, they were playing golf. On the front, they were holding guns. I'm not really sure what's going on here. But I did kind of like them. They appeared to have some age. I wasn't sure exactly what they were, so I did leave those behind. Unfortunately, this piece had been Frankensteined. Now, Dagny found the ashtray, and she found it interesting as well. And we were both thinking, now, could this be Viking? Could this be something special? Because she recently found a really cool Viking ashtray, and it got us thinking about ashtrays. We've got some ice buckets here. Now, Dagny found these really cool art glass cups, but these caught my eye. And I suspected that they could possibly glow, but we weren't really sure if they were modern or not. So I did end up putting those back down after much deliberation. As you can see, there was quite a bit of deliberation going on there and discussion, which you can't really hear because, yeah. But I did end up picking these up. I liked that they were hand blown. I liked that they were decorative. They were neat. I liked this piece as well. I liked the swirl in the glass. However, there were no markings on it, and I just wasn't completely sold on it. That vase was full of pebbles. This celery dish unfortunately had a giant chip out of it. Those typically I could sell for $10 to $15. And we've got a little figurine here. This was likely made in Japan. This canister set here, I have bought and sold this before. It was $2.99. I was shaking it because I was checking to see if there was additional canisters on the inside, which there was. Unfortunately, as you can see there, the bottom is pretty dented up, and so that's why I ultimately left it behind. We've got an egg cup here, however. I did pick one up a few weeks ago that I have still yet to list. However, I decided to grab this egg cup as well. You can never have too many egg cups. I'm sure that's a saying somewhere. Or maybe I just made it up. But I did decide to grab this egg cup. Down here there were some art glass vases. I thought the color on them was interesting. Dagny found this sour cream cup. It has fun animals on it. I have come across these in the past. Usually they're bright colors. So I'm not sure if that one maybe went through the dishwasher a few too many times, but it is a sour cream glass, I believe. You can see the animals there on the side. I do believe I've filmed it when I found the last ones, and I still have them. These glasses here kind of have a Pennsylvania Dutch appeal to them, and yes, that is what we call it here in Pennsylvania. I know it's technically incorrect. We've got a Last Supper dish here. We had talked about those in a recent video. I like the look of that glass. Ooh, could that be Fire and Light? Maybe. I don't know. Pretty sure it wasn't. Now, Dagny found a bag of wood utensils. So we were checking these out. They looked to be pretty primitive. They were interesting. And that glass basket was really nice. A little too much to ship, though. She did find this trinket box here, and it was marked on the bottom. It did have a sticker. It was very decorative and dainty. I found this down on the bottom, and this was made by Jeanette Glass Company. They did want $6.99 for it, which I thought was a bit much. It is the Flora Gold design. It's a nice big plate, but I believe this is a butter crock of some sort. I only say that because there is a cow on top. It could just be a regular little jar or canister. There's a chicken pitcher there for 99 cents. There wasn't a whole lot of selection today. We're kind of grasping at this point, if you can't tell. Really digging. Digging for the good stuff. I do like that plate there. Unfortunately, there's a lot of damage and discoloration on that. Got another chicken pitcher. This is a Nesco. You can actually see the tag still attached there. Dagny found an owl music box. And we were trying to debate what the song was on the music box. This picture reminded me a bit of Blue Mountain Pottery, but I wasn't completely sold on the idea. I've got bookends here. Owl graduation bookends for $2.99. They were adorable. Now I spotted these salt and pepper shakers up here. I did like the floral design on them. They kind of looked like they had orange poppies on them. Dagny found these salt and pepper shakers, which were little piggies. Got a creamer here with the initial D on it for Dagny, perhaps. I tried to convince her of it, but she was just not having it. Neither was my camera. There you go. This I kind of liked until I picked it up and I realized that it was completely bolted together. I'm not sure exactly why. It was interesting. So I set it back down. We've got the fry baskets still here, and this time we investigated to find out they still had seasoning. A nice little mug here. This mug was likely German or European. It has kind of a green luster to it. It probably was meant to be monogrammed and never was. Now this teapot was very interesting, especially because when you turn it over, it says for decorative use only. That's right. This teapot is not for actual use. It's only for decorative use. Please do not use it for your tea. It will poison you. Now, Dagny found this. She found some milk glass Fenton with the hobnail. This piece would have likely had a foil sticker, so it's not marked anywhere, but it is $2.99, and that's a great price for it. This arts and crafts piece was quite interesting. It appears to be two glasses glued together with little nativity scenes on the inside. So we were kind of trying to debate what exactly the thought process was behind it, but decided inevitably to leave it there on the shelves. So as you can see, my cart wasn't overflowing this time, but I ended up with a few things. All right, well, it is all dark now. Our total spend there was only $10. We did not buy a lot today. I think it was my mistake for getting a late start. They were done restocking. There wasn't a whole lot on the shelves. So, you know what, though? We got some good stuff for $10, and I can triple that, maybe even quadruple it. So I'm pleased with everything that we got. I am going to get out of here now, and I'm going to take the hour trek home, and I will see all of you tomorrow. Later.